Every step we take, every move we make, the universe whispers secrets that can send shivers down our spine. Now in this video, we'll tell you the top horror facts that will keep you up at night. Let's have a look at number 15. 15. The ghost ship discovered in 1872 was Crudus. The eerie discovery of the ghost ship in 1872, known as the Mary Celeste, continues to baffle and captivate. Found abandoned with no crew, the ship's intact state and absence of struggle ignited a flurry of theories from mutiny to the supernatural. Was it a mutinous crew that abandoned the ship, leaving behind an untouched vessel? Or did the anya of sea monsters or otherworldly forces prompt their hasty departure? Despite decades of speculation, the Mary Celeste remains a haunting enigma, leaving us to ponder the untold story hidden within its silent timbers. 14. Simo Exiger. Simo Exiger sounds like something out of a horror movie. It's a parasitic crustacean that attaches itself to a fish's tongue. Over time, the parasite essentially replaces the fish's tongue, using its own body to become a functional and creepy replacement. Nature's methods can sometimes be downright chilling. 13. Fatal insomnia. Imagine being trapped in a world without sleep. Fatal insomnia, an incredibly rare disorder, plunges individuals into a nightmarish existence where sleep becomes an elusive dream. As the condition progresses, it robs them of rest, sanity, and ultimately life itself, making it one of the most haunting afflictions. The next one is so shocking. Let's have a look. 12. Dangers of sleep. In the 70s-80s, the first case of many Southeast Asian refugees in the US who died screaming in their sleep was recorded. This was common for Lao Hmong men who lived through the Cambodian genocide and CIA recruitment for the Laos Civil War. It's theorized that this was an extreme form of PTSD. One story: the man had stayed up for days fearing he would be attacked if he slept. He drank coffee and lied to his parents about sleeping. He did everything he could to keep from sleeping. When he finally fell asleep, his parents thought this crisis was over. Then they heard screams in the middle of the night. By the time they got to him, he was dead. He died in the middle of a nightmare. 11. Kakra's delusion. There's a syndrome called Kakra's delusion where you believe loved ones are imposters. Picture this: you're looking at your sibling or parent, but something feels off. You're convinced they're an imposter, even if they look and sound the same. This isn't a sci-fi plot, but a real psychological condition called Kakra's delusion. People with this syndrome genuinely believe that their close ones have been replaced. 10. Humans are in danger. Cockroaches have been recorded eating human flesh, both living and dead, as well as fingernails, eyelashes, feet, and hands. The American cockroach and German cockroach are more likely to bite humans than other species. 9. The story of Moby Dick. The men of the ship Essex, the true event that inspires the story Moby Dick, avoided islands after being shipwrecked for fear of cannibals. The islands were settled and landing there would have brought salvation to the survivors. Ironically, because of this bypass, the men ran out of food and were forced to eat each other for survival. 8. Jawdropping Story. When French revolutionary Maximilien Robespierre realized he was to be executed, he attempted suicide by shooting himself in the mouth. He was unsuccessful, and when they took him to the guillotine, the executioner ripped off the bandage holding his wounded jaw together, causing him to scream in agony before the crowd until he was silenced by the blade of the guillotine. 7. Vending machines kill more people per year than sharks. Next time you're at a vending machine, think twice. While it sounds bizarre, you're statistically more likely to be killed by a vending machine than a shark. Every year, a handful of people die due to vending machines toppling over on them, often outnumbering shark-related fatalities. 6. Chipmunk Syndrome. There was a woman in Kentucky by the name of Octavia Hatcher. After losing her infant son, she fell into a depression and eventually became ill with a sickness that resulted in a coma and her being pronounced dead. Over the next few days, more local people fell ill, displaying the same symptoms as Octavia, but eventually recovering. It struck the village that Octavia may have had the same illness and her coffin was dug up, but it was too late. Octavia had been buried alive, and when they opened the casket, they found the lining of the lid torn from Octavia's bloody nails as she had attempted to claw her way out. She eventually died of oxygen deprivation, and a life-sized monument was erected above her grave by her grieving husband. Being buried alive was pretty common back in the day. Some coffins were made with air vents and a bell to ring if you happened to wake up. 5. The Death Rattle is a gurgling sound produced by dying individuals. As if the process of dying wasn't mysterious enough, there's the phenomenon called the death rattle. It's a chilling, gurgling sound some individuals make when they're close to death. This noise is due to the body's inability to swallow or clear secretions. It's often a sign that the end is near. 4. Blue-ringed octopus. Imagine being aware of someone performing CPR but you physically can't move or respond. Well, that's what happens when you get bitten by a blue-ringed octopus. You have approximately 6 minutes between being bitten and someone starting CPR to keep your heart and lungs functioning to ensure you survive, all whilst being aware of what is happening to you. Neurotoxins are fun. 3. Astronauts report a distinct smell after spacewalks. Ever wondered about the peculiar things astronauts experience? After a spacewalk, astronauts have often mentioned a unique smell on their gear. They say it's quite distinct and resembles the aroma of burnt meat or even welding fumes. What's causing it? It's thought to be related to the high-energy vibrations and particles that the astronauts are exposed to in space. 2. Mattress doubles in weight over 10 years due to dust mites. You might not realize it, but there's a tiny wool bustling in your bed. Over a span of 10 years, an average mattress can double in weight. The culprits: dust mites and the debris they leave behind. These tiny critters feed on the dead skin cells we shed. Think about that the next time you're ready for a bed upgrade. 1. Gorden Smiley with his brain on track. Gorden Smiley, a cocky young driver from Texas, died during the 1982 Indianapolis 500 qualifications as he attempted to break a record speed. He crashed into a wall head-on at 185 miles per hour. The doctor on site at the time, Steve Olvey, witnessed the crash and wrote about what he saw in his 2006 autobiography. While rushing to the car, I noticed small splotches of a peculiar gray substance marking a trail on the asphalt leading up to the driver. When I reached the car, I was shocked to see that Smiley's helmet was gone, along with the top of his skull. He had essentially been scalped by the debris fence. The material on the racetrack was most of his brain. His helmet, due to massive centrifugal force, was literally pulled from his head on impact. I rode to the care center with the body. On the way in, I performed a cursory examination and realized that nearly every bone in his body was shattered. He had a gaping wound in his side that looked as if he had been attacked by a large shark. I had never seen such trauma. That's all about today's video for you. What horror facts that keep you up at night? Share yours in comment section. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, and press bell icon for notifications.